our self-worth, our value, our visions belong to us personally. And it can get really dangerous when we start to foster out these inherent, important, internal things to other people. Hey, lovely. I hope you're well. We're going to get right into talking about the importance of building in private. Right now, with social media and seeing the come up stories, it can be so tempting to just want to put your step by step by step out there. But there are many reasons why this might not be the best case for you. Don't get me wrong, the story should be documented. I have videos right now that are sitting in my phone of very key pivotal moments, sad ones, happy ones that are never going to see the light of day until that thing is fully manifested. But I know that they're going to be a cool reference point for like that whole where it started and how I'm doing type of thing. But there is such an importance to being able to build in private. And I understand why many of us don't want to do it, because it can be so lonely to feel like you're the only one. Everything is hush hush, but there is protection around hedging yourself. And this protection is twofold. I'll spend some time talking about the external and the internal. But with the external, one of the reasons why it's not wise to put everything out there is because people are weird. Like, I don't know how else to put it. There are people who are watching you just for the sake of watching you. They don't wish you well. They don't want you to succeed. And some of them are waiting to actually giggle about your downfall. I recently decided, well, last year, I moved to Nigeria part-time. I was in this whole Lagos talking stage reverse jackpot situation. If you want to hear more about that, leave a comment and I will share that journey and what I learned. But at the time, I was going back and forth, and I thought it was going to be a permanent thing where every year, indefinitely, I'd be living half of my year in Nigeria. But as God directed me, this year does not look like that. And because I had spoken to so many people about it, a lot of them reached out to me and they're like, Toks, aren't you supposed to be in Nigeria? Aren't you living there? And curiosity is not a bad thing in and of itself, but there is sometimes an air around that curiosity that makes you feel like, are you a hater? And the thing is that if I didn't put this decision out there so publicly, no one would be able to ask me questions, because you actually can't ask people questions about things you don't know exist. So if you want to protect yourself, you need to make sure that if you don't want people to ask you about that thing, don't talk about it. Hence why I don't talk about a lot of things on here. I usually talk about reflective lessons. I don't talk about live action things I'm experiencing, because I actually do not want people's opinion. And there might be some good encouraging opinions, but that one piece of opinion from that person who thinks they know it all or wants to offer me some unsolicited, stupid advice is going to aggravate me, for lack of better words, and I don't want to deal with it. So putting yourself out there too much leaves room for so many opinions. And even if people are not haters of you, because not everybody is your hater, and we need to release ourselves from the shackles of thinking everybody is our hater. But when you're in the growing process of a thing, it is so sensitive. Like if you think about a seed compared to like an oak tree, a seed grows down. So you need to grow down. You need to get your roots strong. But if your roots are not yet strong and you're doing this thing in the presence of a million opinions, those opinions can influence you whether you like it or not. You might think that you're so firm that you won't stop, but someone can say something to you that now plants a seed, and that seed can now grow roots beside the seed that you were planting for yourself, and they can start to snuff each other out and suffocate each other. So when you're in that growing process, give yourself time to grow, like to grow down before you grow up, before you share it with people, because there are certain levels of personal conviction and fortitude that you need to have in yourself in this thing before you can even bring in other opinions. I can remember so many instances where I was starting something new. Even right now, I'm working on certain projects, and hearing somebody's doubt of that project made me shake, because a part of me personally was already shaking because I didn't fully feel confident in this thing I'm doing. I feel convicted, but confidence is a whole nother thing. A lot of times we're working in a space of blind faith where we're like, I think it's going to work, so I commit to working it until it works. But in the process of that, all of the insecurity and everything is also screaming at you, telling you to stop. So when you're now building and going through that internal process publicly, there is more risk that people's opinions are going to be able to come in and like snuff your light that you're trying to build and burn into a flame. But girl, when you have a flame and everything is big, nobody's opinion can really shake you at that point, because you've grown strong roots, and then you also have proof of your result and what you said you wanted to do. So internally, the other part of this struggle is where when we start to build in public, we forget that this is still not a group assignment, that it is an individual assignment. So it can get to the point where you start to be swayed by the opinions of others, or on the other side of it, being put on a pedestal. Like if you are documenting your life and you're telling everyone all of your wins, and it seems like you're in that winning season where it's back to back to back to back, inevitably we have slumps. The slumps are not forever, but they do go down. What happens now when you're in one of those down seasons, but you're so enamored by the pedestal that others have put you on for the fact that you're always winning? What can happen is that we can start to become liars. We can start to avoid the fact that things aren't going well, not wanting to look at it, not wanting to be honest and candid with ourselves, let alone the other people who don't really matter. And because we want to be perceived as the person who has it all together, we don't honestly assess the fact that we're not. And when we don't honestly assess the fact that we're not, we end up in situations where things are going down and down and down, and we're trying not to look at it, but then it eventually crashes, and now it's in our face, the mess is there, and we have no choice but to face the truth of this thing. But when you're going through the ups and downs in private, and you're building your fortitude and your confidence in that thing, not in the perceived praises of how that thing looks on the outside, you are also more willing to deal with and face things head on, because girl, there's no shame. There's nobody to be ashamed of. There's no one to hide from, because nobody even knows what you're doing anyway. And if you're somebody who's always built in public and you've been feeling these pulls to take it private, take it private. What is anybody gonna do to you? Like, my whole thing is, you can't beat me. If I was telling you play by play last year and the year before, and then this year I've gone silent, the most somebody is going to ask you is, oh, hey, how is that thing going? And based on how you respond will let most people with deductive reasoning know that the conversation doesn't need to go any further. So stop if you don't feel like this makes sense for you. And if people think that you've fallen off the face of the earth, or that you're not on like you used to be because you no longer share, let them think that. At the end of the day, what money has these thoughts ever given you? Have their thoughts ever moved you forward? Has it changed your life positively? Yes, affirmations are good and all of that good stuff, but telling these people and having them in the know, how has it fiscally benefited you? How has it mentally benefited you? How has it tangibly benefited you? So if you stop talking and they seem to disappear, or they think that you're not doing well, it's okay. We're still going to announce the things worth announcing. And if you are struggling with the fact that you always need people to know, I want you to take some time to sit with yourself and ask yourself the question, like, what am I gaining from others being in my camp? What am I gaining so much so that I can't keep anything to myself? And why should I be able to encourage and bolster myself in the way that I'm receiving from others? I am a community person. So me saying build in silence is not about locking off your friends and not telling people who are your accountability partners, but it's more so around being able to build the personal strength and fortitude to handle things on your own, because it's important. Our self-worth, our value, our visions belong to us personally. And it can get really dangerous when we start to foster out these inherent, important, internal things to other people. Imagine if my self-worth is in the hands of my sister. I love her, I care about her, but she's busy, she's married, she has a kid. And now, because if she's not confirming me and encouraging me, I don't feel good enough. What happens when her life inevitably puts her in a situation where she doesn't have time to affirm me? Then I'm now dangling, feeling lost and sad and unable to see myself clearly. So that is why you need to bring back your value in-house. Be able to sit with yourself in the discomfort, in the loneliness, be able to work it until it works on your own, even if people love you and don't have the time, so that when eventually everything is strong enough to see the light of day, you can share it. But in the moments that it requires like gentility, like I know that's not a real word, I'm so Nigerian for that. When it requires you to be gentle and protect it and cover it, you'll be able to do that. So I hope that this helps you. I hope that you are able to step away and sit in the potential discomfort of not having everyone in your business, or bask in the liberation of the fact that everybody is not in your business. I want you to I want you to subscribe. I want you to share this with a friend, and remember to be kind to yourself, because you're a work in progress and you're making progress. I'll speak to you soon.